Welcome to another edition of Couch Chats with Dr. Scott, this time a special animated edition. Today, we will be discussing biblical worldview immersion. Over break, I do what I usually do, and I read a book. This book was by Roger Erdvig called Beyond Biblical Integration. Erdvig explored the difference, which really challenged me, on faith integration versus faith immersion and the definition and meaning of biblical worldview. So, what is a worldview? A biblical worldview is understood as viewing the world through the authority of Scripture and through the lens of the arc of Scripture from beginning to end chronologically. So, it begins with creation. We are made perfect, the fall with sin, redemption through Christ, and restoration and glorification in the future. Or ought, is, can, and will as shorthand. The world is not as it ought to be from creation and how it's designed. It is how it is in sin, but can be different because of redemption. So now you may be asking, well, what is the difference between integration and immersion? Well, integration assumes that we are contributing truth from the Bible to existing truth in our culture. Whereas immersion recognizes that because everyone has a worldview, all information that we have comes from a worldview lens. And our cultural worldview is one of secularism. So we need to immerse ourselves within a biblical worldview to view the world through that lens and ask these 4 questions that Erdvig notes. The 4 questions that Erdvig asks are: what is good in our culture we can cultivate or build? What is missing in our culture we can create? What is broken that we can cure? And what is evil in our culture that we can curb or stop, put an end to? These 4 questions will be driving some of our discussion and engagement this semester. Thank you for joining us for Couch Chats with Dr. Scott, Animated Edition. I hope that you join us as we continue this discussion on biblical worldview immersion throughout this semester. Enjoy the start to your spring semester.